Stand by, Bofogel. We're about to begin. Good afternoon and welcome into the WBAY newsroom this afternoon. I am Chris Roth and welcome to our First Alert Fastcast as we get you caught up on what we are working on locally here this afternoon. We interrupt local news live to bring you those updates, so let's get you started on that right away. We are continuing to follow the latest in the investigation into that accident yesterday in Grand Chute that left a robbery suspect dead. As you recall, police responded to a shoplifting call at Fleet Farm there. The suspect then fled the scene and later crashed their car into another vehicle before hitting a tree. We will have updates on this case coming up this afternoon in all of our evening newscasts. Let's see if we can get that graphic up for you there. As this investigation continues, remember, outsourced now away from Grand Chute Police, other agencies investigating what took place. Again, we'll have the latest on that coming up this afternoon. Coming up today at 4:30, a really interesting discussion on artificial intelligence and its use in the classroom. The debate over the use of AI in education continues, but that widespread fear that really existed when programs like ChatGPT was introduced, those fears have abated somewhat. And here in Appleton, this is the Valley New Charter School. They're using a grant to explore AI in the classroom. We're going to visit with Dr. Burke Wallace from that school today on Action 2 News at 4:30 to discuss how they're using AI, why they're using it, and how students are responding to using it. And the Packers' preparations continued for that win, and they are in game coming up Sunday at Lambeau Field against the Chicago Bears. Christian Watson, Dontavian Wicks, Jaden Reed all practicing for a second straight day. Still no Preston Smith for a second straight day, though. Smith has been on a tear of late, 7 quarterback hits, including 2.5 sacks and a forced fumble in his last 2 games. We'll have the latest from the Packers coming up tonight on Action 2 News at 5, 6, and of course 10 o'clock as we bring you back into the newsroom. Some other news from Matt LaFleur this afternoon. He did say there is a realistic chance that tight end Luke Musgrave, who has been out since suffering a lacerated kidney in the Chargers game, there's a realistic chance he could come off injured reserve and play in the finale on Sunday against the Bears. All right, let's take a look around the area here as we bring up our Sturgeon Bay sky cam and take a look at that. Weather clearing a bit to the west, but let's find out how long that's going to last. Let's bring in Bo Fogel, meteorologist from our Storm Center 2 First Alert Weather Center there. Buddy, what's going on? How long can we expect those skies to, well, look rather nice out there?
Well, it's not going to last very long, Chris, unfortunately. I would love to say that it is going to be sunny for the rest of the day and for everybody, but no, the clouds are going to try to come back, especially as we head into the weekend. We got 2 weather makers that we're keeping track of that's going to bring back the cloud cover and give us a chance of snow on Saturday.
Oh.
So fortunately, yes, there's still a chance of snow on Saturday. It's not looking like it's going to be a big event. It's going to be similar to what we saw last time, where a lot of areas you're just going to see light snow falling, but it's actually going to be just a dusting up to an inch. I don't think we're going to see really any heavy snow bands like we saw last time, but we still could see some spotty, slippery travel here and there. So taking a look at how this is going to play out. So we're going to see 2 systems actually come relatively near each other. One of them is going to move over the Dakotas and Minnesota. This system is going to bring us a chance of snow for the Northwoods, and then another system down in Tennessee is going to bring us more chances of snow for Green Bay down into the Fox Valley. So we'll be between 2 systems that could give us some good chances of snow starting Saturday morning and continuing through Sunday night. Once that cold front passes us, then the snow will be done. So a closer look at this. You can see Friday night we'll see cloud cover increasing once again, and then the snow looks to begin from the south to the north by early Saturday morning. And you notice it's very broken. It's very unorganized. It's not going to be a solid like snow path. It's just very off and on throughout Saturday into Saturday night, and it's just going to continue like that. Now we could still see some flakes for early Sunday morning. So if you're tailgating early Sunday, you might encounter a couple of flakes, but otherwise it's going to be fine. If you're tailgating or going to the game, which I am, it should be just fine. Snowfall amounts half an inch, maybe an inch if you're lucky, and so not expecting a lot of it. But I do want to point out that if you're going to northern Wisconsin or the UP this weekend, especially on Saturday, they could see up to 2 to 3 inches of snow from this system. So if you're going up north, just plan accordingly. There's probably going to be some slippery travel up there, so be careful. And of course, we've been talking about next week a potential winter system coming through. It's still possible, but you know, things could change a lot. We still got 5 to 6 days until we get 5 days until we get there. And, you know, the models can change at any time. So please, you know, yes, there's still a chance of snow, but I'd rather just kind of tone it down and, you know, not freak out about it. And then Packers versus Bears, it's looking good. Mostly cloudy, temperatures in the mid-30s and lower 30s. So if you're going to the game, like I said, I'm going, it's going to be a good day to watch the Packers versus Bears.
All right,
So-
Bo, I got a quick question for you. You and I don't work together very often on set, so you don't know that I always enjoy when the Euro model and the GFS model are fighting and they're not in agreement.
Yes.
David yesterday said those two were closer to agreement on that storm for next week. Are they still in agreement, or are they starting to spar a little bit?
I would say spar a little bit. Like
Okay.
the recent models are showing now that this system is going to be a little bit further east. So if
All
that
right.
happens, that's moving away from us. So
Yeah.
that lowers the snow threat. But like I said, this is 5 days in advance, and a lot of things could still change. So I still threw in that snow threat just in case. But in a way, don't be surprised if we change the forecast for that system.
All right, fair enough. Bo, thanks so much. We'll see you later on today. We also want to remind you of the other things what we will be working on coming up on Action 2 News 4:35 and 6, and let's take a look at that now. Coming up at 4 o'clock, a plea from DHS and our First Alert Safety Desk. That'll be with Aisha Morales. And again, we want to invite you to join us for that AI and education discussion coming up today on Action 2 News at 4:30. At 5 o'clock, we'll have the latest in the case of Ann Retzloff. You may recall she is the former owner of Annie's Campground in Shawano County. She had a competency hearing today. Remember, she is facing multiple charges, including fleeing officers and bail jumping. Of course, this is Thursday. That means small towns. Jeff Alexander going to take us to Wapaka tonight to meet the most unique delivery driver you'll ever want to meet. Small towns is a no-miss thing coming up on Action 2 News at 6 o'clock like it always is on Thursday nights. So we'll have that for you with Jeff Alexander. Well, we want to thank you for tuning in to our First Alert Fastcast here this afternoon. We will be back with you tonight on Action 2 News at 4:30. And until then, once we get this all squared away, we'll say so long and good afternoon.